favorite beverage, and she brought the career advice. Now sit back and relax while you get advice that will take you to the next destination in your career or business. And now, Katrina Brittingham.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Katrina Brittingham, your executive coach, helping you to navigate for your business and get venture ready. We
Mm,
have, and I'm going to try to, I got it right,
all right.
our lovely co host, Dr. The Real Deal Love.
Hello, 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 hello.
So, we have an interesting topic. I try to do it at least once a year, as close to the beginning of the year as possible, but I think I'm a little late on it. And it is um, great business ideas, small business ideas. So these are for the people who want to start a business in this new year. It's not too late. It's actually only the last day of February. We're only in the second month of the year.
On the side.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking to start a business and do the things that you need to do, however you do it, some people have the capital up front, some people bootstrap. I did and still do my business, which means I fund my business myself. You can do that. So there are some options that you can have where you can do that and it's low cost. So we're going to go through some and let you know if they are low cost to start up, or if it's going to be a bigger investment, which would require for you to get some capital, grant funding,
Mm-hmm.
loans, things like that. The first thing on the list is near and dear to my heart because that is what I do, and that is consulting. Consulting has been out there for some time, it's been growing, and you can use your expertise in a specific area like business, social media marketing, um, regular marketing, human resources. All of these things now are virtual and sometimes outsourced. They're outsourced to consulting firms who will bring in talent to help them on a specific project or actually to run the department
Mm-hmm.
and to take over the operations of the department. So you can start a consulting business on your own, then grow the business, and then you can hire in consultants to work either alongside you or to take on the consulting work so you can be the CEO and the visionary of where you want your company to go. I know for me, um, with consulting, because I had the years of experience in business, I had the years of experience with helping people with their careers in corporate. It just made sense. It was not that much of a cost. I think I spent less than $1,000 starting the business up. That included my website, which you can't tell me nothing. And I was so proud of it and so upset when I had to get rid of it. I created my own website.
Yeah. You're talented. You're talented.
I just clicked around until I got it right. And designed my logo and everything like that on my own initially to start. You don't have to do that. You can pay someone to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have some low cost options available to you with high quality results.
Yeah.
Okay. But I just wanted to do it. I was like, how hard can it be to create a website?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's me. Um, especially since at the time when I was trying to get a website, people were trying to charge me like $10,000. Like I'm a solopreneur. Like I got other expenses. I can't give you $10,000 for
Oh,
a
no. I don't have to
website.
give it to you.
And so this was before like social media was real um, heavy when it comes to business owners and consultants and the videos and things like that. I think podcasting was kind of really new
It was.
then at the time. So having a website was a must. I still think having a web presence and having a website helps because when people come, depending on what you're doing as a consultant, it adds some credibility to you.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, and like I said, that's depending on what you're doing. Like I do uh, business and executive coaching. So when a business comes to look for me to bring me in, the first thing they're going to do is look for a website. That's
mhm,
just what they're going to do. So we have already gone through that. You have to research your market and your target audience and where they're going to go, those types of things. So there are low cost options for that. And if you need to know, call your local business coach.
mhm, mhm.
Do you have anything to add to that? Because you do consulting slash coaching.
Yes, yes. Well, as you said, some type of social presence. Now, when we were coming along and starting up, it was like, you've got to have the website, you got to have the website. Well, I mean, things have progressed so until you don't have to have a website per se, but you do need like a landing page, you know,
Mm-hmm.
something when they plug your information in, there's something that shows up in cyber world, you know, that tells people who you are, what you're about, and what you offer. You know what I'm saying? What
Mm-hmm.
what can I do for you? So it's good to have that, as you said, it's good to have that social presence so that people, it just adds credibility, and people say that you're up with it. See, that's the other thing, is being caught up with what's really happening. Social media is something that I got into late because it's like, I didn't know it, and I didn't know it. I didn't really want to learn it, but it's here to stay. Either learn it or get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So there's a lot of options out there. There's more options out there now, Miss Katrina, like for creating your own website. I mean, they've got like step-by-step plug-in stuff where you can like, it wasn't like that back in the day. You had to have some, what were some of those terms that you had to have back then? You had to have some experience
Some
and
coding skills,
yeah, that's right. You had to
HTML writing.
exactly,
Yes, because I did it.
some coding. You had to know some coding and stuff. Now,
I did it.
nowadays, social media is so user friendly. So now
Mhm.
is the time. There's no greater time to open up a business or start a business like it is now.
Yes, and that is so true. Um, and so yeah, having that landing page for people to go to. So you have to have like your domain name, make sure that it's available. Which now domain names are starting to be less and less available because so many people have websites or landing pages or a place where people can go online outside of social media. Even though in recent years, social media does allow you to sell on there, but you have to remember, depending on your target, not everybody is going to social media for their shopping.
Hmm.
Um, I remember when Google became a thing, um, and I had asked a question about something. Somebody's like, just Google it. I'm like, what? And it's like, did you go to Google and search it, the search engine?
Hmm.
And I don't know what search engine I was using at the time. I'm not even gonna um, say because I
Okay.
don't remember because so
Yeah,
many have come and gone.
that's right.
Um, but I was like, oh, okay. So I went there and searched, and I tell you, it's still a term. I still Google stuff all the time, and so you have people who will may not search you on social media because they don't know to search you on social media, but
Mhm.
they will search you via Google.
Google, that's right.
So it's a good idea to have that presence and have something outside of social media because you do have some people who will feel like you're unprofessional if you don't have it, depending on what your business is. So it's good
Mhm.
to know, what people are looking for. I mean, hey, Walmart has a website, Amazon has a website, other places have websites that people go to. And yes, they might have Facebook and Twitter and all of that, but they have a place where you can actually go for their product and other people, their services. So those are some of the things that you want to look at.
Very
And
important.
I did go off a topic because I was just talking about websites, but the next one is online reselling. So if you have a passion for clothes, an aspiring designer, being able to sell your things online is a good way to start a online retail business.
Mm.
Also, you have places where people sell gently used clothes. Um, yeah, that's the thing. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But
Slightly used, but not abused.
right,
Mhm.
I can't get past that somebody else was wearing it. But some people, that's their thing, and so
Right.
somebody found a niche for that, and we're able to do that. So you can do that. I know people who do jewelry. I know people who do handmade pieces, all kinds of stuff people sell online. And if you're doing it more than just, oh, I'm having like a online garage sale, you have this inventory. It's a way to do it. Um, you can also go through Amazon. They have a program that I completely failed at. I really did. I was like, okay, Trina, this is not your thing.
Mhm.
Where you can actually go through them as an affiliate and send people to their website to shop for different things, and you get a cut of the pay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazon sent me an email said, no thanks. You
Mhm. That wasn't your niche.
I got fired by
Mhm.
Amazon.
Oh,
With their online business. I laugh about it. I was a little bit disappointed,
at the
but
time.
then I was just like, you know, this is not your thing. But I just, was out there. It was like, oh, make that extra income, and I'm always looking for multiple streams of income or places to get
That's right. You're
income.
smart. You're smart. That's right.
And but that was just not my thing. It just,
Did they
it
give you a
was not.
reason why?
Hmm.
Did they give you a reason why they fired you?
Yeah, because I wasn't able to get traffic there.
Okay, got you. You wasn't able to drive traffic.
Yeah, I was not able to drive enough traffic
Enough traffic.
because you
Okay,
have to have a certain amount
certain amount
for
of
them to
traffic.
keep your account active. And they told me I could reapply maybe much later.
Okay.
And this happened maybe like a year or two ago, so it's not like it's recent. But I
Mhm.
just thought about that. When you do things like that, you have to be able to make sure that you have um, a way to get funnel the traffic. And if you don't funnel enough traffic, and I did have some traffic, it just wasn't
Wasn't
whatever
enough.
their quota was.
That's right. That's right.
Um, and everything. So, and I wasn't, I own my own business. I'm not trying to hawk Amazon. Like really like go to their site, go to,
Yeah.
and everything. So, it is what it is. But some people really have a knack for that. And if that is your knack and your niche, it is a easy way to get up and running because you actually don't have to worry about a website. You have a link and it takes you to your own personal page
Hmm.
that Amazon has already created for you. And that's probably why they fired me. They spent money on that and they weren't getting their money back.
Yeah. And business is a quota. You've got to meet your quotas.
Hmm.
Dang, that's so
Hmm.
that's yeah. So you didn't meet your quota.
I did not.
Okay.
I failed miserably. I honestly, and I was looking, I don't remember in the write up if it said that you had to have a certain quota, but when I looked at what traffic I drove and what that quota was, it was just bad.
Hmm. Hmm.
I couldn't even get angry because it was just bad.
You
Um,
understood.
hmm.
You understood their point.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was a bad. I can't even say employee affiliate. I was a bad affiliate.
Okay.
Um, with that. And honestly, I think because also when you're looking at affiliate marketing, um, the services or products that you refer should relate to your business. And even though I did think it did because you can get office supplies and stuff, but my people were like, I don't know.
Hmm.
Don't
Hmm.
send me to Amazon. So 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 it just didn't work out. Or if they went, they didn't go through my link. So it is what it is. I used to have it at the bottom of this show, and I would, talk about different things or whatever,
Hmm.
in my YouTube and everything like that. And so it was just like different products and things like that that they had available. And I would mention it, but people were like, I didn't come to you to send me to Amazon. I like I came to you to help me start a business or to go further in my career. And I accept that.
Except,
The next thing you can do is online teaching. This is near and dear to my heart because I did do some online teaching um, while I was doing this business because it was like, oh, you can do it part time. You can help children learn English in China. And I'm like, China? So I applied. You do have to either have a certification or pass their certification, which, and I still have those.
mm,
Um, and everything. So in my former life, when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be, um, after getting my degree, and as some people experience, not being successful in finding a job in like 2 years after graduation,
mm,
um, I decided I wanted to teach. So I went to the school district. You had to take an exam. And so for what I wanted to do was two exams. So I said, I'm gonna just go in there and see what it's like to see what I need to study.
okay.
I go in there and people are like, this is the fifth time I took this test and I studied. I'm like, oh, what did I do? What did I get myself into?
Mm-hmm.
So I took the two tests and I'm waiting. I was like, let me see what they say I need to bone up on. And I passed the test.
Whoa.
Till today, I still don't know how. I mean, they were giving me math problems that I didn't even remember, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently I got them right.
Okay. And it was two tests, you said. It was two.
It was two tests because it was I was going for special education.
Mm-hmm.
So it was two different tests they have you take. Um, or had you take. I don't know what they do now because, like I said, this was many moons ago. And so I'm taking this test, and years later, after I really go into my career in business, I go and I work for the school district. And one of the girls is getting her certification, and she's like, "Oh, the certification is so hard, and this." And I was like, "Oh, wow." I said, I was thinking about getting a certification and everything. Um, and I was going through a certain program, um, and they didn't wind up hiring me,
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. But that's another story for another day.
Another story,
And I
another.
was like, yeah, I took the praxis 1 and 2, and I passed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her my little story. I said, I didn't even study. I just went in there just to see, and I passed it. They turned and looked at me like crazy, and I was like, what? And they were like, Trina, that is the teaching certificate.
Right.
So somewhere in my mother's house, or if she hasn't gotten rid of it because she moved, are my results for my teaching certification.
Mm-hmm.
So I took their certification, same thing, right out the box, passed it, and I got to teach some of the most amazing students. And I
Mm-hmm.
taught them up until COVID hit, because COVID hit over there first.
Okay.
And I was talking that some of my kids weren't showing up, and I'm like, this isn't like them. And one student comes in and she's crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, what's, baby, what's going on? She was like, oh, people are really sick over here, da 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 da. And so then we had where they shut everything down.
Uh,
Um, and I
uh,
was just like, oh my goodness.
mm-hmm.
So when it came here, I was telling people, I said, no, this is serious. Because at first, it was like, oh, it's not serious. So no, this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had a couple students come back. Not as many came back, but I had a couple came come back, and unfortunately, they had people when their family passed, and everything like that. But it's very rewarding if you like teaching.
Okay.
Um, you get to meet some wonderful students, and their parents, sometimes. Um, in the sessions, and it was very rewarding, for me. I think too, because it goes with the coaching and consulting, but
Okay.
it's a way to make extra money if you want. I didn't even really do it for the money.
Hmm.
Um, and it doesn't fit interfere with your work time because of the fact that they're on the other side of the world. So I did some early morning. I think I did like 2 hours of teaching, and had like four students
Yeah.
a day and everything. And they just lit up my life. Like even if I had like a rough day or a rough night the day before, they would light my soul up just because of their personalities and things like that. And you could see their progress of them getting better, and things like that. And it taught me some things, that they do school and they do school long, and then afterwards what I was doing was sort of like tutoring.
Okay.
And so I was like, wow, they were in school for God knows how many hours, and now they sitting in front of me for tutoring.
For 2 more hours.
Yeah. And so, but it just opened my eyes up to that. So if that's something that you want to do, you want to be an entrepreneur, most of those things are contract, 1099. They have all kinds of perks. At least the company I was working for had all kinds of perks.
Hmm.
So I can name a couple of companies, companies that I considered that are really good and top ranking. One of them is VIP Kid. Um, they were really great. And I can't think of the other one. Oh my. Okay, can't think of that one. So I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of time. But if you like doing that, you can meet kids overseas, and everything like that, and see how they live and their culture and things like that. And if you do very well as a teacher or high ranking, with at least with VIP Kid, you can be selected to go and visit China if you want to do that. It's now. I mean,
Interesting.
think I don't know what's going on over there now, but
What do they
there's
need you to
something
teach?
about
What are
it.
you teaching? Were you teaching English, or how does that work?
I was teaching English, vocabulary, reading skills, math skills,
Hmm.
um, phonics,
Gotcha.
and things like that. And I say them separately because they are separate courses.
Yes.
Um, and everything, because people's like, oh well, reading, that's fine. No, not necessarily. So and teaching them how to pronounce English well. The perk with that is that you do not have to speak a word of Chinese. They do give you the option to kind of learn it, and I did pick up some words so I could communicate in their dialect, which was wonderful. And their eyes brightened up. It was like, she wants to know. And because communication
Communication.
is wonderful. And think about it, when someone's talking, you don't know their language.
Yes.
How does it make you feel? It makes you feel very uncomfortable, and everything like that. But when you can engage someone in their language,
You can
and
speak
I've
the
seen
language.
it
Yes.
in many cultures, when you and even if you at least try, they're like, oh my gosh, it shows that you care
Hmm. Hmm.
on a certain level. So, all right, you have anything about the online teaching or anything you want to say? Because I can talk forever on that.
I think that was a good one because my daughter was in Japan for a while because her husband was stationed there for a while, and that was one of the things that in fact she had my granddaughter there, and that was one of the things that she always knew that she could teach. She didn't start it, but she knew she could teach there because they let her know we need teachers to teach the English language because they're interested in learning English. That is it's not
Mhm.
an option. They want their people speaking Japanese and they want them to know English. So I just thought that was interesting, and like you said,
Mhm.
is definitely a great business opportunity to teach English. I just didn't know that they have all those subjects available to teach as well. That's exciting.
Yes. Yes, and it is not just for like China, Japan. You can go to Spain because I almost went to Spain to teach in the time that I was looking to teach. It way before. So honestly, it gave me the opportunity to live a dream that I was not able to do early on.
Okay.
So that was, something for me that I was like, wow, I can actually teach. I would try to teach, and everything, and um, just being a coach, we are instructors.
Yeah.
So I think that that goes hand in hand with coaches and consultants, depending on the type of coach or consultant that you are. It may be something that you want to consider.
Hmm.
Again, that was my multiple stream of income
Okay.
and everything like that. But like I said, the reward of doing it far outweighed the earnings, and it could be pretty lucrative.
Okay.
It really depends on you, because I started out just teaching the basic English, and they have different certifications, so you can teach different grades. So I was teaching all different grades, and everything, from the babies on up to older students. And as you progress, you can take on more subjects. So I didn't start out just teaching all those subjects.
Okay.
I gradually progressed into um, teaching those subjects. So you can do that. They provide all the training. They provide you the curriculum
Hmm.
and everything for the lessons. If you like to build curriculums, they open up the opportunity for you to help them build curriculums and make their curriculums better. Um, it's just awesome. But we don't have time for that. So the next one is online bookkeeping. So if you have an aptitude for numbers, especially if you do have a degree in accounting or you're a bookkeeper, it's a way for you to do it. You can get your autonomy. You can run your own business and start that. Online taxes, if you just want to do taxes and just manage the tax season, they do have tax preparers out there that's what they do, and they don't do any other part of financing. So that could be a business for you that you start. um, and we are actually at the half, almost, so we're going to take a little 30-minute break. But um, I say all that to say we have more to go through, and I'm not even sure if we're going to get through all of it because I just like to chat. But we'll see you after the 30 seconds.
We'll be back.
Are you looking to advance your career? Your resume is the single most important factor in advancing your career. It's the best way to show you have what it takes. Introducing Venture Ready LLC. We help professionals see beyond the limits of their current circumstances. We will significantly increase your chances of landing your dream job. We offer the following: career coaching, executive coaching, interview readiness, job search strategies, career transition coaching. Get in touch with us today. Venture Ready LLC, the complete package for any career path you take.
All right, so that's Venture Ready LLC. If
Venture
you are
ready.
not looking for a business, or you're looking to transfer out of corporate to a business, Venture Ready LLC can help you with obtaining the skills and the transferable skills that you can have to go into different areas that you need to go into. So we are back. The next item,
Hmm.
um, which kind of surprised me, but didn't, because I do know someone who was doing it. But I think they were doing it for a company, but you can start a company as a medical courier. Um, and so that's when you have a vehicle and you're delivering lab specimens and things like that,
Hmm.
prescription drugs and equipment. So if you like driving, you like the medical profession, you like doing stuff like that, then you
Hmm.
can do that and start your own business that way. Um, do your research to find out. the need for it. 'Cause the first thing I thought, I was like, medical carrier service. I said, don't they have Uber? But Uber does not deliver medical specimens. Um,
Ah, see that? Then that's really good to think about that because Uber and what is it? Uber and what is the other one? Uber and
Lyft.
Lyft. Yes, you know what I'm saying? They've really cornered the market on a lot of things, but when it comes down to medical, so see, I'm learning something. That's good.
Mhm. They do Uber Eats. Uber does Uber Eats and Lyft. I think Lyft is still a drive. I don't think they deliver food, but they're not delivering medical specimens. So there might be a little hole in there for you if that's something
Right?
that you like to do.
Always
If
a
you
good.
Right, and if you have experience in it already, because maybe you did it for another company and you decide, Pasha, these employees are getting on my nerves. I'm out.
Mhm,
This is
mhm.
a little sidebar joke. We were, talking about how people don't necessarily quit jobs per se. They quit because of the work environment and the culture and not being able to
That's
get,
right. That's right.
um, or just having a horrible work environment. So that's another conversation for another day too.
Mhm.
The next thing you have is app development. This is really big because a lot of people have apps. You have apps on your computer. That little word icon, guess what? That's an app. People develop those types of things,
Mhm.
and everything. So if you are into developing, you're into technology, you have a background in that and expertise in that, you can actually start your own app development company. And you have people who have been very, very successful
Yeah.
with that. Same thing that goes into consulting because companies hire consultants who have app development, software development skills. So you can do it as a consulting firm, you can do it as a full fledged business. Cell phones have nothing but apps on it. I'm tired of every website I go to on my phone asking me if I want to download their app. No, I
Okay.
just wanted to go to your website.
Mhm.
Only because apps can take up a lot of space on your phone. Whereas once I'm off the website, I clear my cookies, I'm good.
That's right.
So nothing against anybody's app,
Yeah.
but everybody now has an app
Hmm.
for your phone. There's an app for that. But then there may be apps that no one thought about, and you might get the newest one out there and make a whole lot of money off of your app that you develop. Any comments on the apps?
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because someone did approach me about creating an app for me. And I was just learning about apps because apps just give you an opportunity to go into for someone to have access to all of your information, all of your data. You know what I'm saying? We can go in this app, we can pull up your this, we can pull up your that. So apps are very, very usable. But as you said, I mean, so many people have apps and it takes up so much space. So if you do go into that business, if you can create a way where it doesn't take up so much space and people can still have all that great access to your business and what you offer, I think it's some money to be earned there.
All right, so he just gave a business idea out there for you developers. Make those apps take up less space um,
Right.
on your phone.
Mhm.
Because I locked up my phone one time, and it was just like, oh, it's not enough storage. I had apps, so many apps, and the phone was like, well, let me clean this up because you haven't
Right.
used this app in forever because I had only used it the one time,
Hmm.
um, or hadn't used it in so long. Um, but that's definitely something to go into. It's something great and wonderful because some apps I absolutely love and feel like I can't live without, but of course I can. You can live without an app, but um, they definitely make things easier for you. You can also do transcription services. So transcription services is if you have an ear for detail and you type relatively well without a whole bunch of errors, and you can type fast, you can do a transcription service where people will send you things that are audible and you type it out.
Right.
So that's an interesting service. I actually um, did not. I knew that they still did it, but I didn't think it was still as popular. But apparently, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Before transcription services. So that's something that you can do and be pretty lucrative. And they have all kinds of transcriptions, legal transcription, medical transcription. So depending on what your specialty is, you could make some pretty good money that
Mm-hmm.
way.
And that interesting. And they have some apps out here that transcribe. So
Oh well, somebody's out of a business idea.
yeah, yeah, and that's something, I mean, yeah, and you do need, I realize that, and sometimes, when I do a show or when you do things, I mean, the information that you use on the show, if you can get it transcribed, then you can multi-purpose that information. You can multi-purpose, what I'm saying, some of the things that you say and do. So transcribing is absolutely, it's a necessity. It is a hot
Mhm.
topic. It is.
But what I'll say is, I'll give this warning: if you do use transcription software, you still have to proofread.
You're
Because sometimes I've and I only say it because I've used it on certain platforms. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna just get a transcription of this. And they do it, the same thing is when you do the
dragon.
uh not even Dragon, YouTube with the closed captioning.
Okay.
I had that on my on my videos, and I went through. Someone's like, read through this. Sometimes, depending on what you say, the computer will think you said something else.
Right.
So you need to be able to proofread to make sure those words came out right. Also, that system does not put in punctuation. I don't know how Dragon works,
Hmm.
per se, because I've never had it.
Okay.
But you have to be careful, make sure you have the proper punctuation and everything, especially as a business, because you want to make sure that's part of you being detail oriented. Make sure that things are correct. So that's my only uh, warning and caveat to that. Because if you do transcription services, maybe you want to use a system to do it, but you definitely have to go back and read that over before you turn it in.
You're right about that. You're right about that. It's not 100% because, like you said, the
Mhm.
punctuation and there's some words that you'll say that it miss it won't pick it up. And believe me, it'll put any word that it thought you said. This is what it thought you said.
Right.
Puts that word in there, and unless you go back in, it's nothing like the human ear. And you said it best. If you're detail oriented and you're willing to sit there and listen, then you're the one for the job. If you're not,
Hmm.
then don't even bother with it. You have to be detail oriented.
Hmm. And the thing about it is, um with that, think about when you're on your, well, at least for me, you're on your smartphone, you're sending a text, and you think you sent something, you're looking at it, it's like, what did you say? I'm like, it
Hmm.
auto corrected me. Yeah, I had a few embarrassing moments of that when it first started out,
Hmm.
and I learned, before you hit that send button, make sure you read through that text.
Double check it. Double check. Double check.
So you can do professional organizing. So if you like to organize, I have my moments where I'm very an interesting person. Things have to be in their proper place of order, and it drive me crazy if it's not.
Okay.
According to my organizational, um, scheme. Uh, but there are some people who just like to organize. You can be a professional organizer to organize people's closets, their homes. People actually pay good money for
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Um, and it's not just, okay, I'm gonna just put this in a personal place. I mean, I've seen it on TV, and they have like different shelving and things like that you would never even think about. And they can put it in your small place or your big place. However, it does. They get very. I thought I was a certain type of way, but they get very creative
Mm,
to organize your life.
mm,
Um, and everything. So if that's you, you can start something like that, and that will help a lot of people out. You can advertise that on social media, and things like that. I've seen, like I said, people do videos um, on them where, with the customer's permission, I'm sure, of how they have organized this person's life.
Right, right.
And so that could be marketing and advertising for you. Any words on them?
And we're talking detail oriented again. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you're talking about organizing a life or organizing someone's closet or organizing someone's business, I mean, you got to pay attention to every detail. Those are the ones that become extremely successful. Okay.
Yes.
That's the way my granddaughter is. She's in school now for interior design. You know,
Hmm.
I was at the market one time, and a lady, I looked at her shopping cart. She had all her fruits stacked in a certain way. She had all of her produce a certain way. Everything in her cart was stacked so precisely. I had to stop her and say something. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Your cart is really arranged nicely." She said, "I'm an interior decorator."
Don't look in my cart.
Yeah, see, me and you both. And, I just throw it in there. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, organizing someone's life, and believe you me, people pay big for that because, you know, some people are too busy to take time and file this or put this away there. So you need, personal assistant or someone to organize you. Absolutely, a great opportunity, big
Hmm.
to be earned. Absolutely.
You can also do a cleaning company, um, and start that. And you can clean anything from like industrial waste, if you have certain certifications, um, construction, homes, off, oh, excuse me, offices. So there's a wide variety, and people do specialize in certain types
Such
of
time.
cleaning. So depending on what you want to do, like I have a friend who has a cleaning company, but she cleans up after construction. She's like, I don't like to clean up after people, but I'll
Okay,
do construction.
that's okay.
And I laughed and I said, hey, well, that's a niche, and they have something for it. So it really depends on um, what you want to do and how good you are at doing it.
Hmm.
You can do freelance writing or copywriting. So you can wordsmith articles. Um, you can write blogs and be a guest blogger. I've done all of that. You can even write what is freelance writing is resume writing, because that's what I was doing
Okay.
when I started out initially, and I was like, well, this is resume writing, and everything. But they consider that um, copywriting and content writing. That's what it's under when you go to do your certain things to register yourself for a business.
Hmm.
Um, it's interesting. But yeah, you can do that. Um, well, I'll throw it out there. I don't necessarily like this idea because one of the copywriting places that I freelance for and I left, they did resume writing, but they also wrote term papers for people
Ah,
and homework assignments.
ah.
And for me, I had both my degrees. I was like, I don't think this is fair. I wrote my own papers.
That offended you when you do your own term papers and someone asks you, "Can you do my term paper?" No, do your own.
I mean, I seen everything out there, theses, everything, and I was just like, I have to stop writing for this company. I've never wrote the term papers or anything like that. But they came, I let them know I was leaving. He was like, well, I know, I was like, well, I'm just, busy. But I really felt some type of way
Hmm.
about that. But apparently there's a niche for that.
A big,
Um,
a big niche.
and I don't know how ethical it is because you're supposed to write your own paper.
Hmm.
So, and that's what it mostly hit. Yeah, I wrote my own term papers, but I was like, how ethical is this? Like, how, and what if this person gets like an A on their paper and someone struggled and broke for months and they get a C, if somebody else,
Hmm.
actually wrote their paper to you? No, okay. I always go on tangents, but um, home care services. So you can start a home care business. Again, you should have a background in healthcare, hospitality, things like that to help seniors get around. Um, uh, it spans, and I don't know why I'm losing my thought. It spans from not necessarily knowing um, medicine per se. You can be doing home care and taking people to the store,
Yes,
and helping them, um, through that, being like a personal assistant.
that's right.
If you have the medical background, then you can go into the care, feeding, dressing, changing. It goes into all kinds of stuff, and I'm not gonna go there. That's my little healthcare background coming in, but we're not gonna go there. But you can do that. Um, and help. Again, even if you have a shopping service for them, I know they have Instacart and everything like that, but this is a little bit more different and a little more personal,
Hmm.
and everything like that, because you would actually be delivering it. Um, I don't know what they're doing for COVID, but before that, you would be bringing the groceries in, putting them away for them because some elderly people don't are not as mobile and can't do those types of things. So you
Hmm.
would be helping them with that. So it really depends on how, um, you know, uh, hospitable you are, how much customer service skills you had.
Hmm.
I didn't do shopping, um, because I got a story for everything. I've had a million jobs. Um, Some were volunteer, and I volunteered for Little Brothers for the Elderly, and we would bring meals at Thanksgiving, and in between the times they would allow us to visit
Hmm.
the seniors, and I made such great friends. Um, Fortunately or unfortunately, um, a couple of the people that I sat with passed away of natural causes.
Okay.
Katrina didn't kill some
You,
old
well,
lady or
long,
anything.
long as you didn't kill him, that's important.
But it really broke my heart because I was just stopping by for a visit. It was an older lady. She was married. She had outlived her whole family. She was in her 90s. And honestly, she lived like in my mother's neighborhood. So I said, well, when I go to visit my mother, I'm going to visit my elderly friend.
Mhm.
And one day I went to visit her, and she didn't answer. So I'm like, okay. I went another time, she didn't answer. I contacted the Corporation for Aging, um, and they hadn't wasn't able to get in contact with her. And then they, eventually told me that they were able to, people got worried and they went in there and she had passed in her sleep.
Okay.
So that hurt me to my heart. And it wasn't kind of the same for me after that. And I'm in Georgia now, so I don't volunteer, but um, you bring Christmas dinner, the holiday dinners, and things like that. Sit with them, so they're not alone on the holidays. Um, and that always just hit me because you just assume, when they say, "Oh, holidays are for families," but you have some people who don't have families,
That's right. Every.
and everything. So it gave me a whole new perspective
Mhm.
on things and on life. And sometimes people don't have family because they just completely outlived everyone.
That's right. That's right. And they didn't
So,
start out with a large family. Everyone doesn't have two, three siblings. So there are some,
mhm,
I'm the only child. So
mhm,
you don't have that extended family to grow, and you don't have that long line. So
mhm,
that's a very much needed service. And not only is it a needed service, there's always clientele for you to pick up. You're always going to have
oh,
the aging community. So it's never like you're going to be without customers. So that's a great opportunity. But
yes.
you do want to be a service driven individual where you like to provide service. If you don't like to provide service, if you're not a people person, just being around people, interacting with people, that is really not a good business for you. But if you like being around people genuinely, and you
Mhm,
like servicing people, excellent opportunity, great business. I'm seeing home care companies just open. I'm just seeing them on buses. I'm seeing billboard. You know what I mean? So it's an exploding business.
Mm-hmm.
Thing. It's an
Mm-hmm.
exploding business, but there again, make sure it fits you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that's good, and now that we're talking about service, one of the things you can do to start a business, I'm skipping down because we're almost at the top of the hour,
Okay.
um, is purchasing and owning a food truck. Um, if you like cooking um, and making food for people and not poisoning them, please, no poisoning people.
No.
Um, because you always say, I can cook, and it's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if you like doing that, if you like dealing with the public, you can open a food truck. And I stress dealing with the public because you're going to have people walking up to your vehicle. You customer service is everything in king, as well as your product. So you can do that. You don't even have to do heavy cuisine. You can do an ice cream truck. You can do a water ice truck. My brother did water ice, and he had his own little truck and everything for that. Um, so if that's something that you want to do, um, if you are like a chef or something like that, or went to culinary school and having trouble getting a job with what's going on now and everything like that, start your own food truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, you just have to make sure you have your safe serves and everything like that in place, your inspections for the truck, a place to store it if you don't have space um, near your home, or homeowners association that doesn't let you park places. You can, have that truck,
Yeah.
and you have your own mobile business.
Mobile business. That's right. Food on the
Um,
go. Food on the go. It's a great business, and it was so interesting to find out that uh, you would think a mobile truck with food. You would think, how good is that? But I mean, some of the numbers that I'm hearing, that when you have good, like you said, you don't have to go in deep into cuisine and fancy cuisine, but just good food, good solid food, a good
mhm.
clean truck. I mean, some of the numbers I'm hearing people are doing sometime like 60, 70, 80. I've heard as much as like 90 grand a year
Or more.
food truck or more. That's exactly right. You know what I mean? So you figure 90 on a food truck. I mean, you're doing pretty good, and you're your own boss. It's your time, and you're mobile.
Hmm.
So great opportunity, great insight, Miss.
Hmm. And everything is location, location, location. You have some that have a permit to be on the college campuses around businesses, and you would be surprised how much business they do. Had a food truck that was very good when I was in corporate, and you had to get down there by a certain time, or it was a line around a block
Mm,
for the food. Um, and everything. So and then even with having a food truck, you can do specialty things, parties, catering.
mm,
There are so many things that you can do with that. So it's not just, oh, I'm gonna be a lunch truck and I'm out here for lunch. If that's not your twist, you can do parties, you can do catering, you can do specialized, um, gigs and everything in your truck. Okay. You just have to, again, make sure that you have the proper licensing if you're doing the catering and things at people's um, work location or residence, because they do look at licensing. Do you have a license to have this truck here?
mm,
So that's the only thing that I would say
mm.
to you. Everything else you can research on your own, but
Do your homework.
yes. And if you need help doing that homework, I help for a fee, not free.
For a small cost. Yes.
Now, I don't know how small the cost is, but you'll get that money back. So you can do also graphic design. You can work for corporations, small businesses, um, and sole proprietors. Everyone needs some type of graphic design work
Everyone.
done, from your logo to
Mhm.
other media that you create. And if it's something that you are good at, there is a great need for it. I have a lot of people come to me for that service, and I do, have options for that service. But so many people are going into business, or even for their side hustles or for their social media. They're in need of graphic designers. So if you are a graphic designer, you decide you want to go on your own, there are some wonderful freelance sites that can get you started. And again, you're still working 1099. So you are your own boss. You can set your schedule, take as many projects as you want, um, that you can handle. I'm gonna say, not want, that you can handle. Never take on more than you can chew, because then you'll have dissatisfied customers. But you can take that, um, hone your skills, get your little feet wet. Because I know with me, when I was freelancing, I did go to a site um, to start freelancing, just to dip my toe in the water, and see if um, it was right for me to
Mhm.
do. So you can do that. You don't necessarily have to jump into it. I will say, because we are at the top of the hour, so I do want to wrap up a little bit. That no matter what you do, there are ways for you to um, slowly come in
Mhm.
to what you're going to do. Whether you do a part time, whether you are a contract through someone else, it helps you get good experience and gain good experience without totally jumping out there. It
Mhm.
also helps you build your name, a portfolio, depending on what you're doing. But even down to the cleaning services, you can contract with actual cleaning services, so you can learn the real deal about it. Because sometimes businesses fail because people's like, oh, I want to do this, and I've done this, but you don't have um, the whole ins and outs. Because running a business is different than actually doing a job.
It is. Big difference.
And so you would be able to learn the ropes, and you have people who will be willing to teach you the ropes,
Mhm.
and everything like that, of the ins and outs of working a business. When I came into um, the career services space, I joined an association, and there's an association for just about anything, where there were professionals there who were willing to take me under their wing, give me some advice. Not everybody,
Mhm.
but there were some people there who were willing. And if they did not, I would not be the business person that I am today.
Mhm.
So um, I was, even though I did kind of like jump out there
Sometimes you gotta
when
go. Mhm.
when I did it, um, but I did use some wisdom
Mhm.
with jumping out there. So I'm not telling you not to jump out there if you're willing to take that risk and take that leap of faith and completely jump out there, but you want to use some wisdom with it. If you want to ease your way into it, you can do that as well. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Do you have any final advice for our aspiring business owners?
Well, I think you did a great job with letting business owners know, or entrepreneurs. It's good to get out there slowly and start to know what it is and learn the business side of it. It's important to have a solid foundation, and getting out there slowly gets you to begin to know what it's going to take experience. Because as long as you're willing to get out there, there's
Mhm.
someone out there that's going to help you along. There's going to be someone there to guide you. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to figure it all out. All you got to do is make the decision to go, and begin
Mm-hmm.
to let those people in the universe that will be summoned to you, they will come to you and take you by the hand and lead you. It happens all the time. Any successful person will tell you, did you do it all yourself? Did anybody take your hand and lead you? They're going to say, no, I didn't do it all myself. Someone took me by the hand and began to help me. We all have those angels in our business.
Mm-hmm. 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 And so it I say all that to say that it is doable. Living your dream is doable, but just know what everything entails um, before you make that. Because having a dream and having a skill and running a business go hand in hand, but they're two different things. You'll have somebody who's an expert at something and would do very well as a graphic designer, for example, but don't have the business acumen to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
And so these skills are learned skills. So um, take the steps that you need to learn the actual business side, because you can be successful in your business and get caught up on business matters
Mm-hmm.
that will tank your business if you don't know how to do those things. Okay, so thank you so very much for joining us for this episode of High Tea with me and Dr. Love. And we will see you next week.
Right.
Ciao.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with me. To be a guest on the show, contact us via email info@ventureready.net. Thank you again and see you next week.